and I'm dog sitting my grand dog.
Oh, is that who it is?
Tater, he is so attached to Lydia. Oh my gosh.
Is he whining because she's not there?
Yeah. So it's okay. All right, let me hit the record button. Oh, I'm recording. Okay. So Tater, you're going down in history, bud. All right. Well, I will go ahead and get started. And then I can share the recording with y'all if y'all want it to share with your friends who couldn't make it.
That's right.
Yeah, so my name's Angel Falk. I'm the fitness angel in Franklin, Tennessee. And I am so excited because we have a monthly detox that we do every month. And the next one starts January the 4th, which is a Monday. So I love learning about detoxing and just the power of what we put in our bodies. So I'm excited. Dr. Odom is going to be joining us here shortly, we hope. And he is, I'll tell you a little bit about Dr. Odom. He's been with the Juice Plus company for 23 years, and he is a retired OBGYN, did that over 35 years, and he delivered over 17,000 babies, and his goal was to have the healthiest babies possible, so he had to have the healthiest mamas possible. So when he found out about Juice Plus, he started recommending it because he knew we need more fruits and vegetables in our diets. He had tremendous outcomes, and there she goes. It's weird when people disappear and come in and out. But anyway, so Dr. Odom has had a lot of experience helping women especially get their health back. And so right now, his favorite thing, I think, to talk about is gut health, brain health. And we know to be healthy, we need to have a clean system. So he will be joining us shortly. But before he comes in, Brandy, how are you doing? I'll give everybody a minute to tell us where you're from and what makes you curious to learn more about the power of plant foods. Brandy, that was you. Okay, yeah.
Okay, sorry. Franklin, Tennessee, soon to be Tupelo, Mississippi. And honestly, like, my curiosity was like, it's just so simple, right? Like, none of us are getting enough plant foods in our body. And it was just a simple solution for me that just made sense. And because I've been doing it for over a year now, like, I'm in the best health that I've been. I'm 47 years old, and I'm in the best health I've ever been in my life. And it's just being consistent. And because I've started, putting more plant foods in my diet, like every day, quote from Dr. Odom there, that it's just helped me like live a healthier lifestyle. And it's just been easy. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Dr. Odom, I'm glad you made it.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be anywhere, but certainly glad to be with y'all.
Good. Well, I am going to record this because I know several people wanted to be on and they couldn't make it. We understand things happen.
Okay.
So I'm excited. I was going to go around and let everybody talk, but now that you're here, y'all cool with letting Dr. Odom just take over? All right. I've already given you the best introduction ever. So.
And I missed it. Shoot. Okay. Well, thank you. And thanks to all of you for being on. Hi, Maria. How you doing? Hi, Brandy. How are you? And hi, Tony. How are you? So glad to be with y'all. Y'all know I'm an avid reader, and my sister gave me a book for Christmas. And it's an eye-opener, and it's another view of health and where we are in medicine today. And I will say that my sister's, I won't even go there. She just asked me to read the book, share with her what I thought. So it's called The Contagion Myth. Here it is right here. Have y'all ever heard of this book, any of you? It's about how do we get diseases, and there are two authors, but anyway, I will send this to you and you can forward it so you don't have to copy it down there. But it's an alternative idea about what causes disease. And the guy that wrote this, along with the lady, the guy's a doctor, and the lady is an author, and it's it is contesting the idea that that disease comes from bacteria or viruses. So this is a whole new way of evaluating health and unhealth. And of course, we're sicker in this country than we've ever been. Our planet is sicker than it's ever been. There's more pollution, there's more pollutants. And so where does all this, and what does all this have to do with Juice Plus, and what does it have to do with whole food, plant food? Well, this guy says that there are two areas that we need to look at that in his mind are what causes disease. And one of them is nutritional deficiencies. And the other is toxicity. So, voila, Juice Plus. How does Juice Plus fill in nutritional deficiencies? Well, we all know that answer. And then what about toxicity? And I know that we've talked about detoxing and detoxing and detoxing in the Shred 10. Every time you do it, you talk about your detoxification there for 10 days. And so what is it about our bodies? What is it that that actually contributes to detoxification? Well, we have lots of organs and systems that are primarily filters that detoxify. And primarily, you know, you just think about it. We have the urinary system, that's your kidneys. We have the liver, that's the ultimate detoxer. We have the GI system that includes the intestinal mucosa that actually detoxifies, but then we also have the enteric microbiome that we inherit from mama and that we then develop throughout our formative years of that bacterial balance. And now we realize more than ever that the bacteria are detoxifying so many of these pollutants and toxins and poisons and chemicals that are in the human body. So we also have the skin, which is a filtering mechanism. We have the pulmonary system, your lungs, your airway that literally filters things. But when you break it down, the individual cells can actually filter. I know that sounds crazy, but one depiction of the individual cell and how it detoxifies and how it cleanses is if you pictured a big 55-gallon drum that you fill up about a third of it with dirt, and then you add water, and you keep adding water and adding water and water and water and water, and you've got holes all along the side of that barrel, and you add enough water, it will dilute the toxins so much that they're either insignificant or you can finally get rid of them. So where is our primary source of water? It's from plant foods, because you know it's 85 to 99% water, all of these foods. So that's another filtering option for all of us. But if you look at the individual cells, and you know our body is a healing machine, so it can heal, it can detoxify. It's also a combustion machine. And when we take in food and use that as fuel, and mix it with air or oxygen in the mitochondria, we create ATP energy. So in the process of creating this energy, we have a byproduct called free radicals that are toxicity again, and we need to get rid of these toxins, these compounds that we are encountering, and a lot of them are self-inflicted, a lot of them are not. And if you think about the water system in most city water systems or even rural water systems, they are less than perfect. So I was just talking to Angel a minute ago about, of course, I have not only a whole house water filter, and I have not only one whole house water filter, but I have two. And then I have another system inside my house that we've been using for almost 15 years that purifies and cleans the water even more, or detoxifies the water even more. So the guy that wrote this book, however, said two things: detoxification and nutritional deficiencies. So disease, in his mind, is not caused by viruses. It's not caused by bacteria. It's caused by the terrain. The terrain. What type of health do we have, and what type of terrain do we have? So I know that I heard all of you. I heard you, Brandy, at the end of yours talking about whole plant food. You never felt better. You're detoxifying. All of these things. That's what plant food does for us. So it not only buffers these free radicals, but it also influences your other organ systems, like your genetics. We know that we can turn genes on and off. We know that we have 23,000 genes, and a lot of them are on this detoxifying pathway. So we want to turn on those protective genes and turn off those destructive genes. So can we do that? Can we do that with the food that we eat? The answer is unequivocally yes. Juice Plus has a study from University of Newcastle in Australia that was done in 2017, where they turned on 1,146 beneficial or positive genes, protective genes, and they turned off 486 destructive genes. Or you can, there's another term instead of turning on and off, but to activate those genes, or gene expression. And another word that is frequently used is upgrade or downgrade these different pathways. So wouldn't it be great if our body was working optimally and our individual cells were working optimally, so we could get rid of all these toxins and poisons, and we could clean up the terrain? And with the studies that we have done with Juice Plus, concentrated whole food, we know that we can move the body along toward that detoxifying utopia. So the idea is, number one, don't ingest or breathe in these toxins in the first place. A lot of it is just Roundup is in the air, it's in the rain, it's in the clouds, it's in the soil, it's in your food. So if it's in the food and you're eating it, now you've got to detoxify. And then your health terrain, your ecosystem, over time, the environment in your body is weakened and weakened and weakened. And so the idea that this COVID is killing people, what it's doing is those people that have less than ideal or less than optimal health, they're in a, this is not just, this is this guy's idea. I'm just parroting what I read in the book. But what he's saying is, it's these people that are so vulnerable, and it's because of their lifestyle, because they make these choices every day, every day, every day. And it's not just food, but it's pleasure choices. People that smoke cigarettes do it because they like the way that makes them feel. People that drink alcohol, why do we do that? Because people do it because of the way that it makes them feel. And sugar. You know, how many times have you heard me say taste and pleasure? Why do we eat what we eat? It's because we like it. It makes us feel good, but it has long-term consequences. All of these have long-term consequences. All of those things I just mentioned are addictive, and sugar is as bad as any of these recreational drugs that people literally have major issues with, because they're so addicted to it that they want more, they want more, they want more. But in order to correct this, we have to break this vicious cycle. And how can we do that? How can we start? Where do we go? What's important? It's important that we literally break this cycle by the foods that we eat, because those are the number one factor that influence your entire lifestyle, more so than exercise, even hydration, sleep, rest. All of those things are key and they're all important, but we can literally break that cycle, and we've shown it. We can break it in 10 days. When Mitra Ray originally devised this Transform 30, is what she called it. It was a month-long process of cleansing your body, of changing the terrain, of cleaning it up. And I'll tell you, I've been very, I'll come right back to that, but I've been very blessed in my life to have visited all 6 of the inhabited continents. I've been to the rainforest in North and South America and in Asia, and I've been able to visit over a third of all the countries on the planet. I've been able to scuba dive all over the planet. I've seen the ecosystem, the environment underwater. And in my lifetime, just in the last 30 years, it has changed so dramatically that it is hardly recognizable. Places that I used to dive are now, the coral is dead. And when the coral dies, the fish population is going to die with it. It's a matter of time. I'm so sorry. This global warming business, all of these changes are because of men, because of man and the decisions that we make to to influence us to feel better. We think it's progress because we have a TV in every room and all of the family has telephones and all of these things. Anyway, so much of what we've done is almost irreparable and almost irreconcilable. So we've got to make changes now, all of us. I'm just trying to hammer home how critically important this plant-based diet is, because it will change your health individually, your offspring's health, your children's health, and their children's health. And on another note, sperm counts have decreased by over 50% in the last 100 years. So we're going to be struggling to reproduce in the next several hundred years unless we make some changes. Because once we kill the coral, we can't get it back. It's gone. Hopefully we can continue to clean things up, because these coral, fish, other animals, they're extinct, and this is happening so much more common than it should be happening. So what can we do? We can absolutely make a decision and a commitment to eating more plant food. We can make a decision to buy food that is without Roundup, that is without chemicals and poisons and toxins and pollutants. We can try to clean the air that we breathe and certainly the water that we drink, but we've got to start understanding the ramifications if we don't clean up the foods that we eat. So you've heard me talk about 80 to 90% of your diet every day should be plant food. It absolutely should be. And how many of us are actually doing that? How many of us are literally consuming enough Juice Plus that it's taking care of what we're not getting with our diet? So 2 capsules a day are what we use for our studies. But if you want optimal health, I'm just telling you, you make your own decisions. But I would strongly encourage, if you've got extras laying around the house, I would take them. So, but change your diet. Give up junk food. Give up sugar, processed food. It is the bane of all human physiology, because it contributes to and enhances more chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation is the common factor, common denominator, and forget about obesity and diabetes, 2 things that are epidemic. I mean, don't forget about them, but the real focus should be on more than just the sugar. The real focus and the real impetus of this talk isn't what to give up, but to what to add, and to make it consistent and do it every meal and every day, every day. I don't want to be an alarmist, but we're reaching a tipping point. So one more reason that we all want to share Juice Plus with the people, especially that we love and that we love the most. So I've talked for about 20 minutes. Let me stop there and see who maybe has a question, or if I need to expand on anything that I said.
I think we're good. What I got out of that is that we need to add more good. And that's one of the campaigns we have had all summer. And I love it. So I agree 100%. We need to keep adding more good.
Okay. And I didn't even mention my favorite topic, and that's gut health, because the more good that we can add, the more fiber and phytonutrients that we can feed by feeding these beneficial bacteria. And that's the good. That's the more good. That's the goodest. That's the greatest. The more good. The more fiber, the better. Populations on the planet that are the healthiest across the board eat more fiber. And don't just focus on our government's recommendation of 24 grams of fiber, but double that. You want excellent health. You want to live into your 90s and have all of your mental faculties. You want to do all that. There's such a close association with gut health and immune health. Gut health and the nervous system health. They're all so closely connected. So, but it all begins in the gut, and it's the food that we choose to eat every day, every day, every day. Thank you, Maria. The more fiber, the better. The more fiber, the longer we live, the more vigor and vitality, the better our life. You know, our lifespan is finally going in the wrong direction. Babies, children born today have a shorter lifespan than their parents. They're expected to live a shorter number of years. But what is really affecting us is not lifespan, but it's called health span. And it's how long we live without a disability. Well, how many, I would challenge you to just note, when you go out driving, the next 20 cars, just notice how many of them have a handicap license plate. How many of your friends can't or couldn't walk around a football field, let alone run 100 yards? They just can't do it. They're just disabled. They cannot do it. So how many of you want that for the rest of your life? How many of you would love to be hiking Machu Picchu, the Inca Indian Trail? How many would love to go to the Highlands in Scotland and hike 96 miles in 10 days? How about that? I mean, how many of you would love to be able to do these things? You've got to start planning now, because these years are inevitable. They're going to pile up. And you don't want to be like so many of my friends. They just can't function. That is no way to live. That's a way to exist only. But we have the key. We have the solution. It's plant food. And of course, Juice Plus is concentrated. It's in a powder. It's so easily consumed, and it is bioavailable. It gets in our bloodstream and goes all over the body. Over half our studies show that. And so again, that's my 25 minutes now. So other comments or questions? I would love to hear some comments from anybody, from all of you.
I was just thinking how some people, it's hard to get from point A to point B sometimes, to go completely, plant-based and all that. So I always say add one simple change at a time. If you add the Juice Plus, it's going to get in your bloodstream. You're going to start craving more fruits and vegetables. So you're going to start eating more. You're going to drink more water, because when you add fiber, you better add some water, right? So you want lots of water. And then you're going to want to start moving more, because you're going to have energy. And it's like layer upon layer that leads eventually to a healthy lifestyle. But it has to start with one simple change. And so to me, it makes sense. Start with Juice Plus in the bloodstream right away. We know that. We have studies that prove it's bioavailable. And then it just leads to one simple change upon another, upon another, upon another. And like you said, it's so important for the children. I think it was Dr. Katz that said more children are harmed because of diet more than drugs or alcohol. So look at that.
Tobacco.
Yeah, or tobacco. That's it. So, we tell our kids, don't drink, don't smoke, don't do drugs. Are we telling them don't eat junk food? No, we're giving it to them, handing it to them to keep them quiet. And it makes me sad. So why not buy them the gummies? Get them the gummies, or better yet, get yourself started and get those children their gummies for free. It just makes sense. And that's just one simple change. And I know we want to have a whole lifestyle, but like I said, going from point A, especially with the new year approaching, a lot of people just can't go all in. They're not ready. So we want to meet them where they are. Just add that one simple change. But for those who do want to go all in and they're ready, the shred starts January 4th. And that is where you really do go in. We make sure you get your water, your exercise, your plant foods. We have all the vegan recipes you could ever want, hundreds. And then in our private group, we have wonderful people who love to cook, like Brandy is always sharing her recipes. And we all want to share. We all want to share every day, because the more you share and put it out there, the more it builds your confidence. Then you start feeling a little like, hey, I'm showing up. I got to do this, especially when you have people following you and they're depending on you. It's amazing. Like I said, it just builds layer upon layer upon layer. And I love it. And I love having new people that we can love and encourage and inspire. It just, Maria calls it the helper's high. We get that helper's high when we help other people. So that's exciting. So that's all I want to say. Who else wants to talk? Tony, you look like you're dying to say something. No.
Thank you for sharing. We need to hear this all the time. We can't just hear it one time. We need to be reminded and start over every day. So thank you for sharing your time and knowledge with us, Dr. Odom. We appreciate you.
Well, thank you, Maria. Thanks for being on. Thanks for those comments. Most of us have children, not all of us, but most of us do. And there are just a few things that are just unacceptable. One is a man beating his wife. Unacceptable, just totally unacceptable. Rearing children, don't you want them all to be completely honest? There's no place in anybody's life for fabrication, for making up stuff. So it's just what I'm trying to say is there's some things that are just unacceptable. And to me, it's unacceptable to have all of the information that we have, and not just Juice Plus, but the information that we have that can affect and influence other people, to have that information and then intentionally share it with other people. So in my little tiny brain, it's just unacceptable not to share this. So as much as I know and as much as I've read, we have the solution. We have the solution. We just have to get out and find a way to get in more people's lives, garner their trust, and help them, not because we said so, but with all of the research, all the data, all the science, that and now the experience of so many of us that have been doing this for 5 years or longer, or 10 years or longer. So it's just such a no-brainer. But everything is going back to the foods that we eat, the choices that we make, the decisions that we make. And so Shred 10 could be the Shred 365. It could be that, maybe we'll change the name of this. Maybe we'll change it from the Shred 10 to the Optimal Health, just whatever. But that's what we all should be striving for. And we literally have the blueprint.
I think you summed it up perfectly. And when I started the Shred, it was the 30-day transformation. And man, I got my leanest. I felt like I was my meanest, my cleanest, all of that. And now 10 days is just perfect, because we all live life. We all, branch out, go to a birthday party, have a little piece of cake or a little late night dinner with friends or whatever. So the Shred just comes at the right time. It's a way to reel it back in, to get back to those healthy habits that we know. And it is a lifestyle. It really is a sustainable, healthy lifestyle. So I always like to end these calls with 3 choices. 1, get our free resources. We have so many ebooks, recipes, workouts, all kinds of great things that we can share with you. 2, get started on Juice Plus. Start today. It only takes a minute to get your order in. And you can sponsor a child if you have a child or a grandchild 4 to college age, and they get it free. It's a no-brainer. And if you order by the 31st, a free bag of Complete. So that's an extra special goodie. And then number 3, join us to share it. Like Dr. Odom says, when you know good and you don't share it, that's wrong. I think there's a Bible verse in James that says that. To know good and not do it, that's a sin. So when I look in the mirror every day, I want to know I shared with people. And this just popped in my head. I have a friend that passed away from cancer, lived close to me, went to several events with me, heard Dr. Odom several times, never ordered. And I don't know if I'm never ever saying it will cure her, but I feel good in my heart knowing I shared, because if I didn't share, then I would feel like, what if? What if? And I think we never really know what we're preventing. There's no way to know. But if we could help one person prevent something, it's worth it. So I just feel like we need more people sharing what we have. And some of us we're in the Juice Plus community, but we don't really know each other, like Karen. We're not on the same team, but we're sidelines, and we want to help as many people as we can and support each other. So I love that. I love that about our company. So if anybody listens to this later, I'm going to record it and I'll share the link with y'all if you want it. Just let us know. Let the person who invited you to this call, let them know if you want the free resources, get started, or start sharing. All right, guys. Thank y'all for joining. Thank you, Dr. Odom.
Thank you.
Thanks,
pleasure.
Dr. Odom. Thanks, Angel.
Thank you. Bye.
Happy New Year, you ladies.
Thank you
Happy
very
New
much.
Year.
Appreciate you.
Oh, go Ohio State.
Yeah,
Buckeyes.
for sure.